Now, hey, when it comes to politics, Mike Sean be spitting. So sit back, relax, and listen up. Let the intellectual juggernaut do his thing. Get out your number 2 pencil and take notes. His office hours are from 9 to 5. Oh, sorry, I got carried away. Don't boo, vote.
Welcome to another episode of Speak On It. I am your host, the mouthpiece of the Southeast, the one and only Mike Sean. Now today we have a very special guest. He's been a long time friend of mine. He's like family. I've known him for over 20 years. Go ahead and state your name, brother.
Hey, James Davis.
That's what's up.
James Davis.
That's what's up, man. Butler High School representative, you know. Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
So James, everything is good, brother. So James, I know that you're very political savvy when it comes to talking politics and history. So looking at the landscape now, can you tell us who you'll be voting for in this
probably
election?
I'm leaning on the right side and everything else because I like greed, money.
Hey, so you voting for Trump?
Well, it's just protect me and get leaning towards it.
So people on the left don't like money, and they're not greedy.
They do. They want to take your money.
Oh, okay. Dang.
Yeah. No.
So can you explain what that means? Like taking your money?
Well, they're gonna raise. I mean, if you like raising taxes and everything else and all the unnecessary stuff.
But you do understand taxes do have some benefits, right?
They do got benefits. I'm not saying them.
Okay.
I'm more of a libertarian approach to it. I do like to be taxed, but it'll just be enough for anything to give the service of the common good.
Gotcha. So during the whole political race on the Democratic side, was there somebody that you saw on that podium 8-9 months ago that you would have voted for had they been the nominee?
On the Democrat side, it would probably the weirdest thing I would have probably liked it on the Democratic side if they would have picked Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang? Yeah, you keep on going out. Andrew Yang?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I take it you don't agree with Biden-Harris, that Biden-Harris ticket.
I would agree with Biden if he ran 4 years ago. I'm not going to lie. That was his chance, but he probably had like the death in the family. He wasn't in there, so he decided he was just going to retire. I'm just going to take the VP and retire, and he thought, like everybody else thought, he was going to win.
Got you. So something happened within that 4 years that would make you not vote for him this time around. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Could you explain what happened?
Well, put it this way. I wasn't.
Dang, you keep on cutting out, brother.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you.
It was a younger version. I would probably win, and I thought it was Zane was the most younger version. What? Bernie was kind of like
Andrew Yang, sir. Andrew
yeah,
Yang.
Andrew Zane.
What, man? That's so disrespectful, man. You can't mispronounce people's names.
I'm not trying to mispronounce his name, but I did. I was probably on the Yang. If I say the Yang Gang, I would have went for it. Would it be fun? Because he was saying it a couple times on his own thing.
Gotcha. So, so you definitely would have supported Yang.
Yeah.
Based off what policies?
Now he had some good ideas. More like good ideas and everything else. He was telling everything what's going to happen that all the trade things, it was mostly a trade job and everything else. And they were trying to put Americans. It was.
Keep on cutting out, brother.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use my thing.
Yeah, you're definitely conservative. You're trying to conserve energy, ain't you?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? It's all good, brother. It's all good. Um, so so now you're pretty much undecided, but you are right leaning.
Yep.
Okay. Um, so have you got any
Yeah.
pushback on that stance, like through social media or just every day at work? I mean, are people kind of like upset that you're voting or that you're leaning right when it comes to voting in this year's election?
Not really upset about it, but I'm more concerned with the local things than I am the national one.
Okay, cool. So like locally, are you gonna be voting straight ticket, straight party?
Yeah, hell no. No, I don't vote straight ticket. Who votes straight ticket?
I don't know. A lot of people do.
Like, so in other words, you're gonna go in there and make straight ticket is gonna sit there just voting on the party, but not voting on the person, on the policy. Because somebody is just, having disguises and wearing that, party hat and everything else is just so, he's gonna do something you ain't gonna like and he's gonna be pissed off. Oh, it's too late.
People do it
It's
all the
too late.
time.
I'm just gonna go vote him out. You gotta look at.
Yeah, people
I
vote
know,
straight
but
party
I
all
go
the
and check
time on
out
both
who.
sides. So yeah, so but you'll definitely be going the individual route.
Well, and well, yeah, but I don't vote straight party because in this state and everything else, I'm kind of disappointed that most of the judge, and I don't see a Democrat judge, and it's just a straight Republican ticket. If you vote on a straight Republican ticket, you actually vote for that judge.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Um, so so basically, you're kind of a on the fence type of voter, and you don't have any kind of allegiance to one party. So you kind of just vote.
No,
Okay, so if 2016 you would have voted for Biden,
yeah,
2020 you're leaning towards Trump.
yep.
Okay, so have you got? Why are you laughing?
Hey, I mean, it's kind of lenient, but it's not a strong third party candidate coming out here and saying like
There is
I'm waiting for a younger third party candidate to come out and say, hey, I'm my other choice and everything else, but we that is not one.
so what is it about Trump that
Not one could break both parties and come in and have it.
I hear you? So what is it about President Trump that I guess has you leaning
No
towards
strong
him
third
versus
party
Biden?
candidates is parole.
Excuse me.
That was a long time ago.
Oh, okay. You probably didn't hear my question. So what is it that has you on the Trump train versus the Biden train?
Eh,
Is there something specifically that Biden
well,
did in the past
the
that
thing
had you
about the
turned
Biden
off?
thing is I didn't like his VP candidate.
Oh, okay. So okay,
Hmm?
Kamala. So what was it about her that you didn't like?
What? Well, not because yesterday was her birthday. She is a gorgeous woman and everything else, but I think she was fun fact. But it's just she had a little thing about that little drunk evil aunt that don't like anybody and everything else, and kind of like, and she didn't feel like she represented me and everything else.
Gotcha. So you're looking for somebody who represents you.
Yeah, it don't have to be all great and everything else. It don't have to be the greatest thing, but it'll be like, okay, yeah. And then when you look at her record back in California and everything else, you stayed a defense attorney so long and everything else, you moved up. Not faulting you on that, but you kind of did a lot of crooked things and everything else, and putting private prisoners and convicts in there, and jacked up a whole bunch of charges. There's a lot of folks was on the Biden train, black males was on the Biden train, but when they found out they let Kamala Harris, and they said, well, I don't really feel her that well because she got me in trouble. I'm going to jump on her. I'm just going to go Trump.
Wait. That was a lot. That was a lot. That was a lot. So, so, so black males specifically said that she got them in trouble.
I said,
So let me ask you
never
this.
got in trouble.
Were these black men, were they
Jacked up
criminals?
a charge.
No, were they criminals? Do you believe they were criminals, or were they choir boys just walking home, minding their own business, and they got snatched up by the cops? Were they criminals?
I'm gonna say both.
Oh, so some choir boys got snatched up.
I'm gonna put it this way: there's no such thing as choir boys. I mean, there's criminals and there's choir boys, but there's some people just on the fence. Some people just go around probably like doing illegal activities, probably like doing little illegal activities, want to do their drugs or whatever, and don't do criminal hardcore stuff. They just want their little thing, and then they want to go back into their little cave. But they probably just got caught up and got busted. Like, okay, look, I'll just go ahead and do rehab. But she was thinking like, yada yada yada. We got you doing all this. She had a couple. It was like a couple, and then when he had the case turned around, the dude was innocent. He was like, he got all the stuff back. He was I forgot what I some videos.
So are you aware of her? So let me. I mean, you're giving me a lot. You're giving me a lot, and I respect that. So to you, Kamala was just locking black men up. Just, hey, there's one. Let's lock him up.
Locking black men, locking anybody up. She even locked up somebody's parents.
and I hate to stop you, but where are you getting this information from? Because
oh shoot,
because she actually has had programs in the past where if you were between the ages of 18 and 32 and you were a nonviolent offender, there was ways for you to re-enter society without the black marks. And she kind of helped usher that in.
Like,
I'm just saying, like, so the notion that she was just like, so basically, I'm sorry, Rocket City. So basically, what you're saying is, she saw a black guy rocking a LA Lakers hat, not her specifically, but the cops saw him walking down Crenshaw, and then just clubbed him over the head and arrested them because Kamala wanted them arrested.
No, she wasn't doing that.
She wasn't doing that?
Not that way. No, she wasn't doing that.
But you just said she was just locking everybody up for no reason.
I get it.
There has to be a reason. You don't get yourself caught up into the judicial system just by accident in most situations.
That's facts. But sometimes you can get in there accidentally.
So,
I mean, I could go with Jalen. I mean, what's that basketball player that played for Michigan?
Yeah.
He got busted in a drug raid and everything else, sitting there playing Xbox with his homeboy.
Yeah.
And they was gonna charge him, went for his homeboy snitching on him. I mean, told him that was all mine. He wouldn't be. Yeah. He wouldn't be hooping.
It's kind of like guilty upon association.
So it could be one of those. I don't know.
Yeah. So say she prosecuted 1,000 cases. What is the percentage that you think that the people that she prosecuted were innocent?
There's some was in it. It was a lot. A lot of folks was innocent.
I can't quantify a lot. So would you say what 80% were innocent?
No, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna give her a small percentage of 30. 60 was guilty.
60 was guilty, and 30 is a large percentage of people going to jail for not doing anything, just hanging out on Crenshaw. I mean, like, do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. That's a big number, but I'm just saying. I'm just going on like a little small number. I like 10 people, and 3 was just, you got 6 of them bad apples, and then 3 was just.
Well, like for me, like with the death penalty, right? I'd rather let 100 guilty people go before one innocent man dies. That's me. That's me.
Wow, you got a frozen frame.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So basically,
I was say you got a frozen.
Yeah. So basically, she wasn't just huh? So she wasn't just clubbing
against it.
So she wasn't just clubbing blacks and Mexicans on the street and hauling them in.
Nah, she wasn't.
Okay, all right. Because before you said she was, hey, Before you said she was locking up
I
everybody.
mean, I get what she was doing and everything else. You're getting paid by private prisons and everything else. You got to lock some people up to fill them up in there. I
She was
get
doing
it.
her job though, right? Would you say she was doing her job
Yeah.
as a prosecutor? Okay.
I mean, the state
So-
was getting paid by it and everything else by private corporation.
Okay.
So you got to fill them up or jump up some charges for like petty. That was all I'm saying.
Yeah, but we do agree that a lot of those guys were actually guilty.
Huh? What you say?
We can agree that a lot of the guys that she put away were guilty, like the rapists, people selling
Yeah, I
dope
could
to
agree
their
with that.
own community. Okay, cool. So then I know earlier
Yeah.
you said that black males were on the Biden train until they found out that he
I said
had
not all.
Okay, I didn't say all.
I said yeah.
Oh, okay. So I know earlier you said that black males were riding for Biden until they found out that the
I
94
already know for
crime
a
bill, he
fact
was
that
the author of it. Oh, what were you saying?
he's one of the authors.
Okay.
He's one of the authors, but I can't fault the Black Caucus. The Black Caucus approved it.
Well, not only that,
I mean,
they
I wasn't aware of this.
reelected Bill Clinton. So the thing with the 94 crime bill, right? I mean, of course it wasn't perfect, but when you have a situation, specifically California, Los Angeles area during the early 1990s, right? It was black people that spearheaded
California.
that crime bill. They were tired of seeing their
Well-
young kids get jumped because they had LA Raiders jackets, starter jackets. They were tired of seeing little girls getting raped in alleys. They were tired of seeing drug dealers posted up on the block day in and day out. They were tired of gangbangers holding their communities hostage. So they went to their elected officials, but before then, they went to their pastors. They said, "Look, Pastor Jones, I don't like how Pookie and Ray Ray are posted up on the block day in and day out selling dope. I have my young kids, my young grandkids. You got to do something about that." And so the pastor, he went to his local city officials. Local city officials said, "Hey, we got to do something about it. Going to the future, now we have the crime bill." So I can't place too much blame on politicians doing the will of the people. Because a lot of times black people say, "Oh, Democrats ain't doing nothing for us." Well, they've delivered, and the crime bill was something that we actually wanted because we wanted our communities to be cleaned up and rid of people who were holding us hostage. But now the crime bill did have some
I'm
negative
not arguing
effects.
with you on that.
Yes.
Not arguing with you, but it's always had a precursor to it and everything. The Lyndon B. Johnson little thing, the Great Society and everything else. Going and knocking on doors and say, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you want this extra money and everything else? You got to kick your man out the house." But
Yeah.
that's been a precursor start of that.
Welfare, yes.
Because crime started going up and everything else. There ain't no father in the home.
Yeah, so we do understand that there is a correlation
One of the
between
precursors, but
poverty
it got worse
and
in the
crime.
80s.
There is a correlation between poverty and crime,
Yeah.
right? So, but again, just because there's drugs in the community doesn't mean you have to sell them. If I don't care for McDonald's,
That's true.
I'm not going to go to McDonald's. So at some point, we as a people, we have to take some responsibility. We have to, and of
Bingo.
course, that's hard when you are working 2 and 3 jobs and you're catching a bus here, catching a bus there to get to work, and your kids are not tended to, and your kids are able just to run the streets wild. Because a lot of times when you listen to interviews from people who are doing time in the jail cell, a lot of them say, "My mama didn't love me and my daddy wasn't there." So yes, the breakup of the black family had a lot to do with the effects that happened afterwards, or the crime and whatnot had to happen afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Didn't hear the last part of the statement.
oh, okay. Basically, the breakup of the home has some effects on some of the dysfunctional behavior that was going on in our communities after that happened, especially with the influx of drugs. And with the influx of drugs, people had more cash on hand to buy fully automatic weapons, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah, they
So basically,
yeah,
um,
and then I mean,
so I know you've said some things about Kamala, her policing policies, and some things about Biden. Um, I've noticed that a lot of people are on the
if
whole
you're
law
going to
and
lead,
order.
he's saying he's a racist.
Go ahead.
Nah,
Let
not
me
really. I
finish my
don't know.
point,
I think
sir.
he's
Let me finish my
he
point.
just goes plays with the fence.
So basically, as recently as 2 months ago, the president actually still endorses stop and frisk.
I
I know
mean,
I know you mentioned before that that Biden with the 94 crime bill. And I know since he's apologized for it, and actually during the Obama administration, they released more black males from prison than the past 12 administrations combined. So it's kind of like they're,
mm,
trying to rectify their wrongs or try to right
I
their
mean,
wrongs.
well, you're gonna right the wrongs and everything else. The thing it was the drug thing was just a little bit like you weighed cocaine is
Yeah,
a bit light, but you weighed
crack.
marijuana, but then they
Oh
kind of changed it up and tweaked
no.
it.
We're talking about like
Depends,
cocaine versus
yeah,
crack.
the crap. How much cocaine you drink?
Yeah, because like basically, if
Oh
you
yeah,
if you get caught with a rock, that's 20 years right there. Versus like the same amount of cocaine, you're not doing that much time. Which that is a disparity. I remember the movie. Remember the movie Deep Cover with Lawrence Fishburne,
yeah,
and there was a scene where
good movie.
the police officer, the FBI agent, whatever he was explaining what crack does to kids and to unborn kids, and how it
Yeah,
just decimates the community. And I've actually talked to a couple of teachers.
yeah.
They've retired since, but they were saying during like the mid to late '90s, they could tell which kids were crack babies because of the way they acted. They didn't have the motor skills. They would act out because their brains really hadn't fully functioned because they had been so much damage had been done from that crack rock. So I think that right there kind of ushered in people to put harsher penalties on crack than cocaine. And unfortunately, the pushers of crack were blacks and Latinos. The pushers of cocaine were mainly whites on the street level.
Yeah,
So then that's where the disparity comes with the
that's the
whole prison industrial complex and all that jazz. So are you big? So are you big on Law and Order?
I'm big. I'm big on Law and Order.
So why aren't you
Not
big on
big, but just big.
Kamala? So I mean, like on one hand, you're
Look,
getting
I'm
on
just
her
saying
for
nobody,
hey, hey, but look,
nobody's
hey, check
perfect.
this out, check this out. On one hand, you're
Nobody's
getting mad
perfect.
at her for locking up black men who just walking down on Crenshaw, clubbing them over the head and giving them years. But on the other hand, you're all for Law and Order. You should be a proponent of one of her biggest supporters. But I mean, like at the end of the day, man, people they can vote for whoever they want for.
But I said nobody. I'm just saying, like, hey, nobody's. And she's not perfect. Okay,
Exactly.
nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Okay,
Trump,
she's just doing her
Biden,
job.
nobody.
Huh?
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. So
Biden,
just so everybody knows, Rocket City Network, this is like raw and uncut. We're not using notes. I didn't give him any questions beforehand. This is like a normal conversation that James and I have.
That
So
is actually fact.
yeah, so
No,
we apologize.
yes, I'm under.
Yeah, so go ahead, brother.
I'm under umbrella.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. What were you saying about?
Yeah, just saying like
So
this.
nobody's
I'm not
perfect.
saying
Yeah, I
she's
understand.
perfect and everything else, but I just don't. I just feel like this. I'm probably reason why I'm leaning towards Trump and everything else. I would have probably voted for Biden 4 years ago if he would have ran.
Yeah,
Everything else, he was more suitable than the other side. I look on both sides of the ticket, but I didn't support Trump during the primary, during the early
yeah,
primary in 2004.
mm-hmm.
I mean, darn it, 2016.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. So like,
Didn't I support him?
so why do you think a lot of how am I gonna ask this question? So you being I guess we can call you a Trump supporter.
You said what was the question? What you say? What you said the question was?
So basically, let me go ahead and pontificate. So you being a black conservative, do you get a lot of you know pushback on that? Do people come for your head? Like when you just kind of discuss
Not,
like how you feel about
not
things?
really. It would be like they had to think twice.
Okay.
I got this. Kind of shocks them a little bit, but I'm really not. I mean, kind of shocks them a little bit. Love the shock value,
So,
but it's just probably in Alabama.
but you're not trolling people, right? Like you're actually like still on the fence. Like you're not just saying you're gonna vote for Trump just to
No,
troll people.
no. Well, you do like them. When I do on the internet and everything else, I attack both sides, so throw people off. Just
Yeah, I mean, good. I mean,
I
yeah,
don't really try to get into that much and everything,
you got to be fair and balanced, though.
because some of the stuff be funny. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, some of
Yeah,
the stuff be funny. I be laughing at it, but
yeah, because and what's crazy
and
if you
some
guys
be like,
have
ooh, some harsh truth.
and what's crazy if you guys haven't been on James's timeline, he's been promoting this candidate. I think he's promoting her because he likes the way she looks. But there's a candidate out in was it Baltimore? She says she
Baltimore,
gonna clean
Maryland.
the streets. Tell us a little bit about her.
Well, I just I saw like her political ad and everything else, and I was like, well, I do like her and everything else, and it's kind of like that did kind of spark some stuff up, and I do like her. She is kind of saying everything else, but when I did find out a little bit of information about her, she's conservative, but kind of a little bit touch on the kind of like me, just a little bit modern and everything else.
Mm-hmm. What is her name? So
But
people can kind of. What's her name? I forget her
oh,
name. I think she's gonna
oh,
lose anyway. But what's her name?
oh, you're probably right. She probably is gonna lose to Kwame.
Yeah. So
Kim
okay.
Classic.
Yeah, that's her name. So what's funny about her situation is, or what I found alarming was that I had no problem with her being a black conservative, but when she's walking through Baltimore and saying I'm gonna clean up this mess and and this is the reason why Baltimore is like that because of all these black men who aren't marrying their baby mamas. Um, that kind of hit me
Yeah,
a certain kind of way, especially when I started digging into her
I
situation.
feel you on that
So her husband
one. Yeah.
is a white guy, which there's nothing wrong with that, but he has quite a few kids with black women. So it's kind of like, well, she's fighting this fight, calling out black men about not taking care of their kids, not being in the home, but her own husband that she's laying with is doing just that. Because it just sounds like she doesn't understand that there's something called co-parenting. And the notion that black men don't take care of their kids is one that I just don't agree with because according to the
Yeah,
CDC,
it's really
black men are the most involved in their children's lives than any other ethnic group. So I mean, she's gonna lose.
that is
I mean,
fact. You said black man. You said I'm finna get on that one, but the black man one.
Go
But
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say like is little Kim Classic. If he does, I don't care for him. I seen the picture of him. He looks kind of like a little bit all right, and everything. If he does, it's just
Why you
that
care
might
about
be
what he
his
looks?
thing.
Why you
Yeah,
care about what he
it
looks
might be.
like?
I mean, that might be his
Are you
thing and everything else.
subconsciously judging him?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, that might be his thing or something like that. If you say if it's his thing, I mean, but I'm just gonna say she won because she got the ultimate prize because he married her out of all of them. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
You got baby mamas in this, the wife, but it's true that you said about the black man does take care of some of these women. They're picking out the wrong guy,
Oh, okay. So
because that's the easiest job you got to do, and you're gonna procreate is to pick the right guy.
based off what? I mean, based off what? Like,
It's simple. Just pick like the guy's job is gonna protect and everything else. That's the main job for a man, anyways, to protect
yeah.
all
So
the
what? So
offsprings
what?
and
So
everything
what?
else.
What if that man is protecting, but he's also beating her down? So I mean, you do understand that there's married people who, a
Oh
woman
man,
got married to somebody and he's not nothing. I can't say that word on the
oh,
air, but
I
you
was
know,
just saying like
so
just.
yeah. I mean, to an extent, people we do have
I get what you're saying on
we
that
do
one.
have freedom of
Because
choice.
that
I
dude, I do
understand
not
that.
encourage domestic violence and everything else because that leaves a bad apple, and a guy will look at that and be like, oh, my dad hits my mom and everything else. I think that's cool, but it's not cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like you as a single black man, do you find it hard to date a woman once she finds out you're you're a black conservative male?
Uh, Once again, I just lean that way, but I just lean that way, but I usually don't tell them.
You don't. Oh, so you tricking? You out here tricking? I mean, like
Yeah, so what?
why? I'm sorry, you guys. Rocket City
I mean,
Network.
I
You know
don't
how we
bring.
get down. I mean, what now?
I know, but
Why are you
I
scared
don't
to
bring up.
admit that? I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody loves you for you or likes you for you, it shouldn't matter
I mean, I'm
what
gonna
your
bring
political
myself
stance
to it.
is because they'll find out that you guys have probably more in common than normal.
I agree with that, but I just don't go out and blast out on the first date and everything else on my political alignment. That's like number one date killer.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, I think that it's gonna come up if you're talking, especially if you guys both are savvy and you watch a lot of news. You can figure out very quickly which way somebody
Yeah,
leans. So when do you tell them on the second date, third date if you're trying to?
maybe it's probably. Oh, look, I usually it'll probably come out on the fourth or fifth, but that's just fourth to fifth. But I wouldn't bring it out on the first date.
Gotcha. So like when you do get to that level,
Yeah,
dating, like how does it? You tell them like, hey, I think I'm gonna vote for Trump this year. What do? They throw stuff at you. They try to key your car. What do they do?
no, I hope they don't do that part. But no, they just most will be like going about their own business. But some be like, oh, it's a nominee. They think the nominee is a rare gem, but I'll be like, okay, I'm just a
Oh,
normal dude.
oh, oh! Man. I mean, so you're getting play off of it. So you're playing the political card, and I guess it's worked out for you.
Yeah, I'm not like the Carlton Banks one version, but not that one.
Oh, okay. I mean, but yeah. I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah,
it really shouldn't matter. Like we as voters, we vote for our best interest. So for me, I'm voting for my best interest, and surely you're going to vote for your best interest. So I never try to proselytize people into voting for a particular candidate. That's
I
just
don't either. I mean, like I don't either, but I'd be like, I see some left got some rights, and then sometimes the right have rights, but you try to like, I usually try to blend it all in the middle,
Yeah.
because somewhere it's gonna be like a, the truth will actually come, because somebody gonna have their story and they twist it and be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then you gotta go on that side, hear the same thing, they're gonna twist it and gonna be like that one, and it'll be like the truth in the middle.
Gotcha. So, like, as far as the presidential election, have you voted already, or are you going to be voting on November 3rd?
I don't trust the mail, so I'm probably gonna go in the polls and just knock it out that afternoon.
You don't trust the mail?
I don't.
The president,
No.
but the president votes that way. Pence votes
Of
that way.
course,
The vice president.
of course, they gotta go.
Soldiers,
Security.
airmen,
So now we
Marines,
got. They
sailors,
have
they
two
vote that way
addresses.
when they're
They're probably gonna
overseas.
they're gonna go and vote absentee ballot, and they probably already did it already, or B, they're gonna have to go back to their little hometown and their house where they originally lived at and everything else, and spend the whole day doing security. That's just gonna waste some money. So they might as well just go do the absentee ballot thing. That works out for them in the military.
Not if you're overseas. I mean, there are some people who don't trust mailing ballots, but our presidents, they've done it for decades. Sailors, soldiers, Marines, Navy, they've done it for decades. I just think now, because
Yeah.
people have kind of shined a light on it, that all of a sudden we have all this criticism on it, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So
Yeah.
my last question. So who you got winning the fight? Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali?
Mike Tyson.
Cool. Well, I want to
Mike
thank you
Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Okay.
Only if he can get it. Only if it'd be Mike Tyson within 5 rounds, but I'm gonna go with Muhammad Ali all 15.
Okay, so you got Tyson winning anything under 5 rounds, and you got Muhammad Ali winning past the 6th round. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, one more question. Favorite hip hop artist, and you can't say Memphis Bleak.
I wasn't gonna say my favorite hip hop artist Memphis Bleak. That was late 90s, early 2000s, James. Meek Mills.
I knew it was gonna be a Philly rapper. I knew it.
Hey.
So we want to
Meek Mills, man. I'm
Meek. Got you. So we want to thank you for joining us on the Rocket City Network.
not because we got common friends and common friends. He knows some of my people, and that's about it.
There's got to be a delay between our services, man, because you when I'm trying to close out the show, you keep on interrupting me on accident, of course.
Well, I'm using the Wi-Fi, so at the
Yeah.
Express, so
That's cool, man. So we want to thank you for joining us on the show, the People's Champ, James Davis. You got any shout outs?
Nah, hey, shout out to you, man. I still want my $3 back.
Talking about that mixtape?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was a great mixtape.
I'm just throwing this saying that's a good throwback.
Yeah, I know, man. Hey, but take care of yourself, man. We're gonna have you on the show next week, man. Hey, look, like, share, subscribe to the channel. We out.
You want social critique, sports, politics, and battle rap beef? If you like eggs scrambled, then subscribe to the channel. Speak on it. Let's go, Mike Sean.